Alright, so in a previous video, we had already done this timer thing here. Right now, what it does is just keep track of time, so as time passes, let's mute this. As time passes, it just adds to the clock, right? So we already have that kind of set up. And this would work fine, but you might want to have something set. Right now, it doesn't do anything. Like, it's not like it just keeps track of how much time there is, and that's about it. But you might want to do something where you want to have a certain amount of time, let's say 60 seconds to complete the level. That's something that we can do. So let's undo that. So we're just going to change a little bit of this. So what we're going to do is we're just have to go to the game controller script. So I'm just going to open up that one because that's the one that's currently handling our time. So you can see we have this timer here. And the way that's currently set up is that we just have the timer text that we're connected to. And then there's current time. And we just start it at 0. And then on update, it runs timer. And this is the timer. It's very short and easy. So basically it says whatever the current time is, where it starts at 0, you want to add to it the current, how much time passed between the previous frame and the current frame. That's what time.delta time is. It's each amount of time between rendered frames. And then timer text.text, that's the actual text. And we write time into it, and then we just do mathf.round, and all that's going to do is basically make it a whole number, because this current time is going to be like, 3.4657, you know what I mean? It's just going to be a really long string. This rounds it to the nearest whole number, and that's why. So that way it says the time and then gives you whole numbers for it. All we've got to do if we want to make this into a timer, it's actually pretty easy. What we're going to do is up here, let's go ahead and just make this public instead of private, so we have more control. We'll do a public float, and then let's just set it at, let's say, 60 seconds, okay? Actually, let's make it 20 seconds so we can see it. Let's make it 10 seconds. That way we can test it, okay? So it's going to start at 10 seconds. Still going to run timer, but you got to remember, it's going to start at 10 seconds. Right now, it's still adding up. All you got to do is just change this from a plus equals. This should probably be bigger so you guys can see it. That's too big. Minus equals delta time. And so what that's going to do is, let's go ahead and save it. That's literally going to start at 10 seconds and then work its way down. I'm going to select the game controller over here so we can change that number if we want. That's why I made it public. So you can see right now it didn't change. So we'll do 10 seconds and then I'll hit play. And you'll see it starts at 10 seconds and now it's counting down as opposed to up. Okay? Yay! Great. All right. Now, that doesn't actually do anything currently. We need to set up that it's going to murder us. So we can do this a couple different ways. Probably the best way would be to just do this. We'll just say if current time is less than or equal to 0. So basically, if we run out of time, let's go ahead and do something. Now, we could do this. We could do the... It's not in here, is it actually? Let's see. Load screen. Okay. So, load screen. So we could do this a couple different ways. Basically, we're going to say when it is 0, what do you want to do? So we could reload the game, the level altogether, which would basically, it would just be, do we even have it up here? So we have to make sure you have scene management, this thing up here that we're importing that library. And then we would just do like scene manager dot load scene, the scene that we're going to load. We're going to use the scene manager to find the scene. And we're just going to do dot get active scene, which is the current scene. Dot, and then we'll just do build index, and you just leave it like that, and that will basically just reload the current level. But that's literally just going to start it fresh, which is probably not what we want to do. What would be better is to actually take a life away. So what we'll do instead is go to the player stats, and let's see, do we have anything that's holding player stats at all? Do I have access to it? Looks like not. So we'll just say something to hold the player stats, and we'll just remove it. So, how do we want to do this? I guess we'll go ahead and make it. So we'll do private Oh, actually, we don't have to do it like that. Oops, Control Z. Okay, so this is the game controller script. Oh no, we do have to do it like that. Never mind. Okay. I was thinking that the player stats was also in game controller script, but it's actually on the player. So we'll just do private, and the type is, I think it's called player stats script, and we'll just call it player stats script. Okay. Notice the name is lowercase because that's a variable, but the type is uppercase. Okay. And it's player stat script because it's just like any other component. Then we're going to do is basically on await, we'll just go ahead and assign it. So we'll say player stat script will be equal to, and let's see if we can find it by positioning. So we got player, we got game controller. See, the player's right here, but it's not parented to it. So I think we're just going to have to search for it. But we'll just do, we'll do the game object dot find, and we're going to look for the player. Okay, we'll do game object dot find player, and then on that I want to do get component, and the component I want to get is going to be the player stat script, and that's it. Okay, so that's going to store basically that into there. Okay, so that right off the bat, we'll try to find that. Okay, so in the timer now, what we can do is we can now access that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the player stat script because that is, I believe, the one that controls our lives, right? Yeah. So if you look on in the player stat script, right here we have health and we have lives. So what I want to do is actually call this thing so that whatever number of lives we have, when that time runs out, instead of just restarting the level, I'll just take a life away. And that way it will run through and do all the things it's supposed to do when you die. So I'm just going to call lives. And then if you look, it's asking what you send it. So I'm going to send it a -1, so it takes a life away. So I'm going to call lives and then -1. That's what we're looking to do. So we're going to go ahead and say player stat script dot lives, capital L, because it's a function. And then we're going to send it -1. And that's it. And now what it'll do is that when we run out of time, it should remove a life. And so I'm just going to say that, remove a life, and then subsequently start us at the beginning of the level as well. So, alright. Let's see. Actually, let's go to player here. That way, because I think, do I have lives in here? Here we go, player lives 3. That way I can see if it's working. So now, I think I already put 10 seconds down, right? Yep, okay. That way, I'm just going to move over a little bit. So I'm going to wait the 10 seconds and see if we die and restart. So, yay, okay, good. So, it did reset us. But obviously the lives thing was, it took too many lives. So the reason why that happened is this. If we go to here, you can see if the current time is this, right? So once we reach down to 0, it's going to go ahead and take away that life, but then we're always in 0. So it's going to take all the lives away until we're just dead, or until there's no more lives left, and it's just going to keep being negative. You saw it. So we need to reset the timer to to something, right? So whatever the original time is probably. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make another float here. So we'll do public float, and we'll say time allowed, we'll say. And I'm going to set that initially equal to 10. And then this current time, I'm going to take this out and just make it current time. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, the time allowed, we're going to make it 10 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and make current time equal on the start. So it's going to start to time allowed. So we're going to go ahead and make whatever the current time is 10 seconds. Okay? So now when we run through here, it's going to run exactly the same. Okay? But if it reaches 0, like it did before. Not only we're going to have it do that, but we're going to take the current time and again make it equal to the time allowed. So basically it will reset the clock here, and should, now it should work. Because we say we weren't resetting the clock. So I'm just going to save that, go back over here, and doop. And this time I'm going to go to the game controller, and instead of, current time could also be private. I don't know why I made it. I'm going to make it 5 seconds just to make it easier. So this should immediately turn to 5. Alright, it did. And then it's going to go 3, 2, 1, and then boop, dead. And then we start with 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, boop, dead. So on and so forth, right? And so now you can see we have a timer that's just going to kill us if we don't make the allotted amount of time. The last thing, like I said, I just want to make sure that we make this a private. This, not like it really matters, but it just makes it easier so we don't accidentally change this number, because it'll make it weird. So, but other than that, that's basically all there is to it. So we have a timer that's counting down, and it kills you, or you can have it do something else, but you can kind of see how that works.